Imagine this scenario. A group of Japanese executives hands you a budget to create a film about death. And naturally, your initial instinct is to compile a bunch of footage of real deaths. Well, that's what John Alan Schwartz did, at least. People being shot, people being executed, people set on fire. Did they really eat a monkey's head? In today's world, it's kind of hard to buy into, don't you think? Yet, the authenticity seems so convincing that even the most skeptical person finds it intriguing. In the 1980s, when explicit violence wasn't as common and access to information was limited, Faces of Death undeniably left a lasting impact on the genre. The film depicted bodies so gruesomely mutilated that they were hardly identifiable. It showcased purported death rituals from various cultures in an unusual sequence, including human sacrifice followed by acts of cannibalism. As the film reaches its climax, it features footage of a notorious plane crash and a distressing bike accident, showing human remains and a severely mutilated body, to the extent that certain parts are unidentifiable. Presented by Dr. Francis B. Gross, Faces of Death compiled a series of human and animal deaths, embodying a truly taboo sensation. Its claim of being banned in over 40 countries further solidified its status as forbidden fruit, a collection of violence and gruesome death, and labeled a video nasty. How it started. Faces of Death wasn't Schwartz's original idea. It was funded by Japanese investors for the Japanese video market, who approached Schwartz to bring their concept to life in the movie. The Japanese came to this small family film company and said to us, "We want to make a movie about death," said Schwartz. It was a chance to have complete creative control. And what young, aspiring filmmaker wouldn't want to do that? They gave us the money and we put it all together and never had anybody to answer to but ourselves. Of all the things I've written, the most organic was Faces of Death, Schwartz later said, after deciding to reveal his identity as the series creator to the wider public. The movies, he said, served as a mouthpiece to say whatever I wanted to say, with nobody censoring me. We were our own censors, but we didn't censor anything. The darker we got, the more excited we were. The film lacked a clear structure, relying mainly on an on-screen host and narrator, Dr. Francis Gross, framing it as a long-term study on death methods. Initially, the movie aimed to solely showcase real deaths. In its original form, there were no reenactments or special effects. Rather, the team compiled an extensive amount of authentic footage sourced directly from news stations. This resulted in a lengthy compilation of deceased individuals, which, besides being distressing, lacked narrative intrigue or entertainment value. They mentioned, "We knew it was very difficult to watch." Recognizing the film's limitations, the filmmakers decided to recreate scenes to develop comprehensive narratives, rather than just displaying the aftermath. To heighten authenticity, they incorporated reproductions of actual accidents. Extensive hours were dedicated to studying real incidents, meticulously analyzing them to ensure the most faithful reproduction. The result? Almost everyone in the 80s believed the depicted deaths were genuine. "We watched hours and hours of newsreel footage," said Douglas White, the special makeup effects creator for the movie. To achieve authenticity, they delved into real grim crime scene photographs, ensuring their effects mirrored reality, while scenes from slaughterhouses and the Holocaust were evidently authentic. Other segments, like the disturbing depiction of a woman jumping to her death, were also genuine. These were acquired by the filmmaker from various international sources and news organizations. The only unscripted moment in the first film took place during their shoot at Sunset Beach, California. Imagine this. Suddenly, a body just washes up on shore. Alan Apone, the effects expert on the movie, shared this eerie incident 30 years later. "We were out there, and this person came running up saying there's a body on the beach. There's a body on the beach," Apone said. "We ran down there to see what was going on. What they found was a drowned man who had apparently been missing for a couple of days after deciding to go for a swim while intoxicated." In the initial film, most scenes were recreated to craft a cohesive story and maintain an engaging rhythm. However, as the series progressed, nearly all the content shifted to being authentic. Instead of leaning into recreations, the series instead became more focused on real footage, including scenes of bombings, shootings, and even a man parachuting into crocodiles. They transformed into what the original was often accused of: mere recordings of real-life deaths. The film created such a stir that in 1986, Rod Matthews, a 14-year-old in Massachusetts, lured a classmate into the woods and fatally beat him with a baseball bat. He attributed his decision to kill someone after watching Faces of Death. Although 2 other teen murders have been loosely connected to the film, Leselaire isn't convinced by these claims. Evil people are going to commit their crimes no matter what, he says. It makes me feel bad that Matthews said, "It was Faces of Death that made me do this." But do I believe that if Faces of Death was not around, that would have stopped him from doing it? No. So, what do you think? Are films like Faces of Death shedding light on reality's darker side, or just sensationalizing violence for shock? Join the debate.